Crikey, what's
Yeah, it'll be fun, I promise.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right there. Nice.
We're going to do some quick fire answers. Are you a cat or a dog person?
I love all animals. This is a bit longer answer. I want every kind of animal on the planet. Not snakes and spiders, not that, but all the others.
What things give you energy?
Being around inspirational people and just, friends, family, just people that I love and they love me. This is what keeps me going.
What 3 things are always on your to-do list?
Make your bed in the morning. Drink coffee, of course, and climbing. That's basically it.
Well, that's a simple life.
It's a simple
that
life.
sounds good.
Yeah, I know.
Sounds really nice.
It's like, yeah, exactly.
All the other things are side things.
Interested in your choice to not have a sports psychologist in relation to your own mind and knowing your own mind?
Yeah, so at the beginning of my path or my career, I was kind of like really not open to it. I just didn't want to have like psychologist because it was still like 10 years ago or more, it was still a taboo kind of. So nobody really talked about it, or I always felt like if someone had a psychologist, this meant that they have problems. Of course, when I started competing, I soon also had some routines in place already, the way that I was thinking. So I was afraid that having a psychologist would change that. So that the psychologist would change my way of thinking, or they would want to change my way of doing things. Yeah, like basically my whole life or the climbing that I know about. So that's why I didn't want to have psychologists at all. Also, right now I'm more open to it. Now I would, of course, try, but I have like a Roman around me who is also not just a coach, but also a psychologist in some ways. So I have a feeling that I don't need to have another person in my life to help me with that. But I'm still open to it. Like if I ever get a feeling that I would need a psychologist or that I would need another person to talk about like certain problems or doubts that I have, then I would. And I would try. But right now, I like it how it is. Mental health was not a thing like 10 years ago or more. It was more like because athletes were perceived as not even a human being. Basically, like athletes were perceived as robots. So athletes should be tough. Athletes shouldn't have any mental problems. Athletes shouldn't be insecure. They shouldn't have any like weaknesses. So that's how athletes were perceived 10 or more years ago. And then like when like top athletes started to speak out about like mental health, then these things started to change. Then more people were talking about their own struggles, and everybody was more comfortable in sharing their life stories. People talk about struggles all the time, they share their life stories, and people are supportive. And I like that it's changing because, first of all, athletes are not robots. Athletes are first humans, and we want to show that side of us. Because, of course, when you compete, you're a bit stubborn, you're tough, you don't want to show too much emotions. But we are humans, so we have our own insecurities, our own problems, and I like that mental health became such a big thing.
Do you notice that your mental state in terms of being vulnerable or not vulnerable changes in the month? Or are there some days that you just wake up and you feel more successful and confident for your own mental state?
I wish like periods would be like, they would come in a month and say, hi, you're not pregnant. Okay, bye. Let's talk next month. Yeah, it's hormones. It's hormones fluctuations. I mean, men have it too, but in a very different way. The thing about women is that we basically shed our uterus out every single month. And of course, with that, also hormones change like throughout the month. And honestly, I was having hard time dealing with that. Which is a funny thing because I basically won 70% of the comms that I won while I was menstruating. And at the same time, I had performance anxiety because I felt uncomfortable when I had my period. And I needed quite some time to learn about my body, how my body works, what do I need in different stages of the month. And I was learning for quite some years how to deal with that. I was always like thinking, when will I get my next period? Will there be a comp? Won't there be a comp? Because I felt so uncomfortable, like because I feel like my hormonal changes. I feel like kind of like off balance, like especially on the wall, you feel a bit maybe off balance. You feel tired. I feel like my mind doesn't work like it should, or especially I feel bloated, but not like just like stomach part. I feel bloated, like my whole body is like, you could see it on my arms. It's just like, I feel like a balloon. So I hated this feeling. I still get it. It was not just in the past, but still now. And I feel like I will just fly. I feel like I'm just going up because I feel so bloated. But everybody just needs to find their own way how to deal with it. Again, sorry, Roman. He usually knows like every single time in a month when I have period. But I think it's important for a coach also to know that, because maybe he like adjusts, like adapts trainings to the time of the month I'm in. We are just like talking a lot about it because I was always so mad and pissed about like having to have like this period. But it's not like you can say, I'm not training or I won't compete. It's not like you can say that. You have to do it. And I wouldn't say it's a taboo theme like in competition world. But not a lot of people think about it, that like athletes are on their period and they have to compete, they are in pain, they feel uncomfortable, and they still have to do it. And let's not talk about hormonal changes. Like sometimes you feel like out of place, you feel like that your mind is like clouded. But yeah, kind of like, of course, in a month I feel like more tired, but then comes a time where I feel like so much like energized and like I have so much energy for training and like I feel just so happy. But then comes the time where energy goes a bit down. But now I learned. Now I learned how to deal with all those stuff. And what helps me the most was actually like, do not think about it. Like, because like before I was really like, oh my God, I'm getting it in like 5 days. What do? I was like already preparing myself for the pain that I will have. And I kind of convinced myself that I will have pain. But then every single month I tried to do a different thing. And then one month I said, okay, this time I won't feel any pain. And then I didn't feel any pain. I was like, oh, that's great. So just like changing the perspective about having a period was the key thing. And also like if I just talk about the climbing world, there's like so much like underfueling going on, and they're like overtraining. So like women lose their periods, and I am glad and so happy that I can say that I had it all my career. So there was not a time in my life that I would lose my period, which I'm so proud of, and I'm happy that I have it, honestly. Like maybe I'm pissed, like, or maybe frustrated every single month that it comes around, but still I'm like, I'm a woman. This is a natural cycle going on, and I'm happy to have it. I train like I normally do. I don't really like adapt my trainings to my cycles because, first of all, let's say you could adapt training to your cycle, but comps like will be whenever they will be. So you can easily have period on the comp, and then on a comp you cannot say I won't compete or I will adapt something, because in a comp it's a comp. So I had to get like used to it, to training normally while I'm cycling and compete normally while I have my period. So, but it took a lot of time, like especially mentally. I think it's all about perceiving periods not as something bad or something painful or something that will be detrimental to your performance. And then my life-changing moment was when someone told me that while women are on their period, they are physically the strongest. So then this changed a lot. Then I was like, okay, let's go.
Say you're at a World Cup and you're on your period. Do you change how you dress?
Not really. I usually wear the same stuff all the time. But it's like maybe like in a competition, you anyway have to be focused on climbing and on what you do. But like while you're in a period, you have to think, oh, am I leaking through? Like, did I change like tampons or pads, whatever, like at the right time? Am I do I spot on the pants? Like, will be layer C if I have something on the pants or not? So it's like you have to think about one more thing while you're on your period. I feel more tired, but then I warm up slowly and maybe get slower into warm up and into things, or maybe I feel off balance, so maybe I would do some more balance exercises or more TheraBand exercise or whatever I feel like. Usually it's all about intuition and how you feel on a certain day, and with periods this doesn't change. I just do what I feel about doing.
How does that kind of societal expectation of us needing to look pretty or beautiful impact you, and have you ever experienced kind of comments about that on social media specifically or in person, especially being under the spotlight?
Yeah, honestly, there are beauty standards. We cannot say that there isn't. There absolutely is. Like I had like a moment, this type of situation, like when I was a kid and I was already climbing, I already got some muscles and I had, like rough hands as a climbers. You don't have like soft hands like normal people, like non-climbers do. I felt like kind of insecure for some time, or they said like, oh, you have a lot of muscles, like you kind of in a way you shouldn't look like that. But I very quickly after that, I was like, well, this body helps me to climb. Like, can you do what I do? You can. But these muscles can do that, and you can. So I was like, this is who I am, and this is what I get from climbing, and that's it. Like, I have rough hands, I have muscles. I'm sorry, I feel comfortable in my own skin, and that's who I am. So I never really bothered with that, but I've been in this situation where I felt like for a split second kind of insecure about myself, like maybe not looking feminine enough. I said to myself, and I keep saying that, like, this body helps me climb.
Obviously the sport is power to weight, but what's prompted you to speak so openly about that topic?
Yeah, of course, climbing is a sport where you have to fight with gravity. And of course, the lighter you are, the better you will be, the easier you will fight gravity. And this maybe worked 20 years ago when there was like a different style of routes, or maybe for rock climbing. But nowadays, this doesn't work. If you don't have something on you, you cannot climb and you can just like break. When I heard like 8 or 9 years old girls talking that if they lost some weight, like 8 or 9 years old, like if they lost some weight or if they would be as skinny as the other girl is, that they would be better. And this breaks my heart. This is like 8 years old girls talking about this. They are not even developed yet. They didn't even go through puberty yet, and yet they are still talking about losing weight. They are like ruining their health their bodies for small part of their life called career. And you can have problems after that, like health problems, you cannot get pregnant, you have kidney problems, liver problems, or like all the kinds of health problems just because of that. And I think I always believe that you can do it, every professional sport, you can do it a healthy way. And that's why I spoke out about it. And also, this was a taboo topic in climbing. Like everybody was talking about it behind someone's back, but nobody said it out loud. Like everybody was saying, "Oh, she's skinny, this and that," but like no one said it out loud. So I feel like I was in a position to finally say it. We have to define what being fit means, because like being light does not equal being strong. It just means that you're light. So yeah, we need to start like talking more and defining what means being fit, what means being healthy. Like we have to start talking differently about food. Like we have to start talking about food as a fuel, not your enemy. Maybe nothing will change in this generation because, of course, if someone is in this eating disorder, then it's really hard to change, I mean, their mind. You need to like put a lot of effort, years of effort in it to change your way of thinking. But I feel like in the generations to come, this will change.
So can you share with us a little bit about what your eating habits are?
So I'm on a seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. So
That's a terrible joke. Can we cut that?
okay, that's all I have.